everyone, I'm Maggie, and in this video I'll show you how to use the permissions module feature of Multicollab version 3.2. So here we are in the WordPress dashboard. We're going to go over to our side menu and click on Multicollab. So again, from our dashboard to our side menu, and we're going to click on Multicollab. Then we're going to go to our third tab here, which is Settings, and from within the Settings tab, we're going to scroll down just a bit until we get to Manage Permissions. All right, so let's discuss how the permissions module works. All the user roles will appear here by default. So we have the roles here, and we have administrator, editor, author, contributor, subscriber, legal reviewer. So those are the roles. Just a quick note is that if you have any plugins that have additional unique user roles, once that plugin is installed, the external custom user roles will appear here automatically. All right, so we've looked at the roles. Now let's take a look at the various permissions. So in each of these columns here, you'll see the permissions. We can add a comment. We can modify the permissions to resolve a comment. We can check the permission to disable comments for a user role entirely. We can add suggestions, accept, reject suggestions, and select the box here to disable access to suggestions for a user role entirely. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate how to manage the permissions of the user roles. I'm currently logged in as an administrator level, so let's look at managing permissions for the administrator user role, but just as an example. So all of the concepts we discuss here can be applied in managing permissions for any of these other user roles that you see listed here. Okay, so let's look at a post to see how this actually works. First, we'll take note of the permissions that the administrator level has selected here. So they can add a comment, they can resolve a comment, add suggestions, and accept and reject suggestions. They don't have disable comments or disable suggestions checked, which makes sense because they have permissions available to operate with both comments and suggestions. So we're going to look at this in one of our posts. So I just went to post here, which is in the side menu, and then clicking on one of the posts that we're currently editing. So we'll look at types of yoga. We're looking at this post from an administrator level, so we should have all of the permissions here that we selected in the permissions module before. So if we click in, you'll see that I am indeed able to add a comment. If we look at any of the existing comments, you'll see that I am able to mark it as resolved. Down here we have some suggestions, so you'll see I'm able to click in here, and if I want to make an edit to any of this text, that will be saved as an added suggestion right here. And then I'm also able to look at suggestions that were already there and accept or reject those suggestions. So all of the permissions that we have selected here for administrators are reflected here within the posts as an administrator. Now let's look at what happens if we remove add comment permission. So let's save that here, and then we go back to the post. And you'll see that whereas before we were able to click into the text and we had that blue plus sign that would come up, now when we go into the text, it is no longer there. However, I didn't do anything to resolving comments. That permission is still checked, as you see. So if we go over here, I am still able to resolve a comment. But if we go into the permissions module and we remove that check and save it, come back over to the post itself, and then we'll see that that permission is no longer there for the administrator role. So come over here, and although I'm able to see the comments, I'm not able to mark them as resolved. So you'll note I can see the comments, but I'm not able to add any or mark any as resolved. Now, if I go over into the permissions module and choose to press disable comments for the administrator level, let's see what happens there. Permission saved, and we go back to our post. Now we're only going to see the suggestions. Comments have been removed entirely. So you'll see that we're not able to, of course, add comments, but we're not able to see any of the comments that were there. We're only able to view suggestions. So that's what happens when we disable comments in the permissions module. Let's look at suggestions, and the concept applies here pretty much the same as it did for comments. So we're currently able to add a suggestion as I demonstrated and currently able to accept or reject. However, if we remove any of these permissions here, save there, on the actual post that I'm editing, I will be able to view these suggestions, but I'm not going to be able to add my own suggestions, and I can't accept or reject them here like I was able to before. Same thing will apply now if we actually go to disable suggestions. Now I want to show you what happens here, something interesting. If we have any of the associated permissions currently checked and you click disable, the associated permission will automatically uncheck, which makes sense, but it's nice to know that feature is there. So we disable suggestions, those were automatically unchecked. Go back to the post itself, and now those suggestions will be gone. And can't see suggestions or comments, just viewing the post that's being edited. So let's go back here. All right, if we uncheck these disabled options and we check some permissions here, click save, and you'll see once we reload this post that we're starting back as an administrator with the permissions that we started with. So we are able to go back in and we're able to add comments, resolve, we're able to add suggestions and accept or reject. So we have all of those permissions back. So that concludes our overview of the permissions module in Multicollab. Thank you for using Multicollab.